Okay, so Apple's WWDC event just happened yesterday, and I'm going to try to fill you in on what I believe to be the most important announcements and things that you should be looking out for. Every June, WWDC focuses on the software to accompany Apple's hardware, their Macs, their iPhones, etc., and usually sets the scene for the release of the actual iPhones and products in September sometime. But now you get a sneak preview. Developers like us get to play underneath the surface, and I'll let you know what's going on. AI. We talk about it every week in our newsletter. It's everywhere. This is the biggest announcement by far. And I'm going to try to explain as best I can what this means. But basically, Apple have moved to introduce on-device AI. What this means is you're not sending all your data to OpenAI or to one of these third-party LLMs. So for security, for privacy, super, super important. The reality is there are what's called small large language models, which can exist on your phone, on the device itself. Some of you may have downloaded and play around with some of these LLMs yourself to date. I know there was an image generation one that I had used before, and it was pretty good, but it did soak up a lot of hard disk space, and that's probably the case. I would say next time the iPhone comes out, you might want some more hard disk space. Look, let's talk about the security. Security, privacy, super important. Apple says that it's staying on the device locally. Local models are going to look after most of the interactions, whether it's to do with summarizing text or it's helping you write better, or it's some of the image generation tools. Most of that I think is going to be local, it means it's not going anywhere. And then on secondary, it sends to Apple servers. Again, says it's privately handling all this data. And yes, they announced they're integrating with OpenAI's ChatGPT, that GPT 4.0. It will do that, but only on your permission. So basically, it will not be sending any of your data anywhere that anyone else can use, which is huge, a huge, big deal. So yes, on-device AI, really big. It's using Apple Silicon. This is something I expected. I'm glad it's here. It just makes a lot of sense. We shouldn't be hogging all the server space and the server resources and compute that's on the cloud when we have these devices locally that can do most of the work that we generally want to do day to day. So what does this mean for the regular user? The main thing is this new update, when iOS 18 drops, it probably will drop in September with the new iPhone. But when it drops, it means that the masses, everybody else who has not been using ChatGPT, will suddenly now understand what generative AI is all about and what this revolution means to them. Things like, as I say, summarizing, helping with content, helping write better. Things like image generation. There's a new image playground app that will allow you to basically create images out of your creativity and your brain. The device will actually generate images for you. This will include making cartoon images of your friends. Maybe you want to send them a birthday card with their face as a cartoon, or you two of you together. It'll be able to do all this sort of thing, as well as some other image generation or image editing optimization tools. Some of them, like obviously this has been on Google for a while, but cutting out like objects in the background of a photo that you want there, and cleaning up other things in a photo that make it, that's not so cute. The other thing about the on-demand, on the on-device AI is that it's contextually aware, so it will remember your conversations. I see this, and it will follow and track what you want to do, from time to time when you're interacting with it. But I really see this as, I think they said it was 13 years or something since Siri arrived. Siri came a long time ago. It promised to be this wonderful assistant. It was not. It is frustrating. It is far below what Apple pretended to be. I think finally Siri is going to meet its expectations. And this might sound like not a big deal, but it is. And finally, everyone who has an iPhone, you don't need to have an account with ChatGPT now. It integrates directly with ChatGPT and will do everything that ChatGPT can do as well, from the privacy of your own phone, and also with costs that are built into your Apple subscription or whatever way you pay for your iPhone and iCloud or whatever else. Ultimately, you won't need to go to ChatGPT, and lots of people out there do not. They don't really know what ChatGPT is or how to use it. They're going to find out. So this is a big deal. This is something that it's not groundbreakingly new for those that are in this space, but it will be for everybody else who is not really using it yet. I think it's a big deal. It makes a lot of sense. I fully support it. So aside from AI, let me fill you in on the other things that interest me. So in WWDC, they announce all kinds of updates, like different things. iOS gets better and better. They have little things like, there's more emojis. You tap back in your message, you can make unlimited emojis. And there's all these little things that they make sound amazing, and they're just like an evolution. It's about time it happened. There's one thing that it is absolutely about time that it happened. I don't know if you have kids. If you have kids, this is one. you can't currently lock just one app. There is screen time and limiting time, but right now this is allowing us to lock apps. That means on my phone, YouTube will be locked without my passcode or my Face ID. I'm gonna have to change my passcode because my kids know that too. But there should, I think this has been coming for a while, and it does allow us to turn off these apps, specific apps to kids. I hope it comes to Apple TV. I haven't checked it yet. It better be as well. Same thing on Apple TV. I want to turn off apps. I want to allow certain apps to play, certain apps not to. Another really interesting one is screen mirroring. So if you don't know this already, you can mirror your iPhone device to your MacBook. Well, they're improving this in the latest version of iOS 18 and the corresponding Mac OS version, where you can use your iPhone fully from your desktop. So you're on your laptop, your iPhone's in your pocket, you can open it up, you can play around, you can open apps, you can do everything that you would normally do with your fingers, you can do with your trackpad on your computer. I think this will be more useful for people like me that are always on their devices. People may or may not use it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it makes a lot of sense. Just to touch on that for a second, I do believe the days of us typing on our little phones, it was groundbreaking, game changing back in 2007. Voice is going to take over. It's happening. Like, too long we've been typing on these tiny keyboards on a small screen. It's crazy. It's too much. There'll be more of that. And even just this signal from Apple that you're allowed to use your MacBook to access your phone, it's interesting. Is it the end of phones, this device that we've been looking at? Is there something different that's in our future? I think voice will take over. Like I said earlier, Siri has finally arrived. Okay, what else? Voice isolation on AirPods. Yes, for the longest time, I would be doing dishes, I'd be making a call, and all the other person's hearing is the noise from the faucet. And I'm glad they say they're fixing this. They're talking about really improving voice isolation. Hope it's the case. I'll believe it for now. We'll see about it later. What else? 3D photos and Vision Pro. I don't know if anyone still uses the Vision Pro. I pulled it out literally yesterday for the first time in months. But one cool thing is that they are using generative AI to improve photographs so that the photographs appear to be 3D within Vision Pro. Kind of cool. It's going to affect a few people. It'd probably be cool for 5 minutes, like a lot of the other stuff in Vision Pro. I'll speak no more about that. I'll move on to some other interesting things. In the Notes app, you can start, if you have an Apple Pencil on your iPad, you can start writing notes. It will detect and understand your handwriting, but it will also complete math for you in your own handwriting. Maybe a little bit creepy. A lot of people maybe not ready for this one, but again, this is where we're going here. Generative AI can understand and it can replicate, and it can help you do math. It's happening. Finally, and this is a good one, every year Apple knocks other apps out of business. Also, they finally catch up with other apps that have been created and doing certain things for years and years. There are two examples here. One is the password app. So for the last few years, you could use iOS and Mac OS to remember your passwords, but there wasn't a standalone app. I think with the standalone app, this brings it more in line with 1Password and LastPass and some of these really amazing password management tools. I think they're going to build on this. Again, they see what others are doing, and then they try to put them out of business. That's Apple's game plan. They take over the great ideas and they do it a little bit different, sometimes better, sometimes worse, but ultimately they have all the eyeballs, they have all the fingers and the voices now. So I think the password app is gonna help people transition to this world of be able to manage your passwords a lot better. It's much needed. And in a related note, and this is the last one, iMessage finally includes the feature to send later. Now, this has been available on Gmail for a while, on Superhuman. It's been 7 or 8 years since 3Advance developed the On Second Thought app by the amazing Macy Peterson. We've been waiting for this feature for a long time. We created it on Android many years ago, and now finally it's made its way to iOS. So yes, you can schedule a message for later, and we think that's great. Don't send people messages at midnight, please. If you really need to send it to arrive at 9 a.m. when they can read it and you're not waking them up. Anyway, lots of stuff like this. We've got a few more things covered in our newsletter today. So sign up, go to 3advance.com/news. Sign up for our newsletter. Look out for our podcast. We're interviewing GPT creators. And let us know what you think. If there are any other announcements today that stand out, that look pretty cool, or will change your life in any way, be it big or small, drop it a note on the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully it's been valuable. Got any other questions, just hit me up. Take it easy, folks.